Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Joe Burrow is back to throwing this week, a good sign after the Bengals quarterback returns from a season-ending injury.
Oh, Joe Shiesty, he's back.
Yeah, have you seen the rumors that he may now be single?
Girls of Cincinnati, they're going to be like,
I know.
What up?
I don't know if it's true, though. I went to actually high school with his girlfriend.
His maybe
She's so
old
sweet.
girlfriend, I don't know.
But they've been together for so long. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. This is awesome that he's throwing.
Cincinnati's thirst trap, Joe Burrow, there you go. And the Dayton Philharmonic is paying homage to Whitney Houston. May 18th, you can head out to listen to all of her hits sung by Broadway star Rashidra Scott.
I love this.
Yeah,
Whitney
plus
Houston.
you got like the full orchestra behind her.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Should be a vibe, and I love it when they do like the orchestra rocking along with the musicians.
It's an amazing combo.
Yeah, it's Whitney Houston. Yeah.
Grater's announcing a new flavor. You can now get orange and cream for a limited time. Oh, that looks fantastic.
See, I like this because I'm more of a fruit-flavored ice cream kind of guy. So.
I prefer chocolate, but there's a time and a place that this is amazing.
And I love the creamsicles.
Yeah,
I remember
those are
having
good.
those when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Oh yeah, right there with you.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We are waking up to a code red weather alert as severe weather threatens the Miami Valley.
Now, there is a chance of damaging wind, large hail, and even tornadoes. Meteorologist Nick Maruziak is
Senior.
Kiter Jr. is charged with 3 counts of tampering with evidence and 1 count of gross abuse of a corpse. More charges are anticipated, but the investigation is ongoing. Police believe other people are involved. They're currently looking into them as well. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Detective Amy Pedro at 937-296-2460.
The Dayton Police Department's asking for your help to find a missing kid. This is 12-year-old Tevin Bittner. Now, he was last seen Sunday around 6 p.m. at the 1700 block of Gummer Avenue. He was wearing a black fleece jacket, black jeans, and black Jordan shoes, and he usually wears glasses. And his family is very concerned for his safety. If you know where he is, call one of the 2 numbers on your screen right now. That's 937-333-COPS or 937-222-STOP.
Vandalia Butler City Schools and the City of Vandalia now reaching a settlement on a tax revenue sharing dispute. The school district sued the city last month, claiming for 3 decades it failed to share tax revenue, a general requirement by the state of Ohio. Now the city will pay the school district $4.35 million over 2 years. The district has already received $1.35 million. The rest will come in installments. The agreement also establishes a new threshold for when tax sharing will begin in the future. In a joint statement, the city and school districts say the agreement, quote, represents a commitment to the ongoing partnership and shared goal of supporting both education and community development.
Our time right now is 5:07. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
6 months to go before the election, and the candidates are neck and neck, even if the former president faces a conviction. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll explain coming up.
You're watching Your Day.
The House Judiciary Committee is preparing to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. That's according to a CNN source familiar with the matter. Republicans want the DOJ to turn over audio recordings of Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Joe Biden. They also want his interview with Biden's speechwriter. Republicans say they need the recordings for their impeachment inquiry into Biden. The Justice Department has refused for months, citing privacy concerns, but say investigators should have all they need after giving written transcripts of the interviews.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is still in the hot seat after Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene threatened to oust him. The two met at length yesterday and will meet together again today. Greene is after Johnson's seat for his handling of government funding issues and gained support from Democrats to pass legislation. The speaker says he understands and shares their frustration, but that's the price to pay with one-seat majority in the House. He's looking ahead to November and the possibility of regaining the White House and Senate.
And I believe Donald J. Trump will be reelected president, and that'll be a great day for the country, and we'll be able to turn this aircraft carrier completely. Between now and then, we're going to work every single day, as we do, to advance our core principles, and we believe that those principles are best for the country.
Now, the House Minority Leader says Democrats will work to keep Johnson in office if the resolution moves forward.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, good morning. We have issued that code red weather alert due to the threat for damaging winds, large hail, and as well tornadoes. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center actually has us under the risk for potentially even strong tornadoes. Now, we'll really get into the details of the oranges and things of that nature. But again, winds, your primary threat, tornadoes and large hail, certainly a threat, as well as potentially some heavy rain. Although because of how quickly these storms are going to be moving, that threat may be just a touch lower. As for right now, I think fog is going to be the only concern this morning. There is a little bit of that. Later on this morning through the early afternoon, this wave comes in. This wave is likely to be perhaps a little bit weaker, still could be in theory some stronger, perhaps even severe storms, especially if this arrives later towards the afternoon. Then from there we get some redevelopment, perhaps as soon as later in the afternoon, think 4 to 5 p.m. Maybe even a little bit later towards 7, 8. That is where this second line comes in. And based on this environment becoming destabilized and a lot of shear, basically the ingredients are there for us to see all hazards, meaning tornadoes, winds, and large hail. This is the primary concern. Perhaps as soon as 4 p.m. if that first wave arrives earlier. Certainly during the evening hours is going to be a concern, whether it's an earlier arrival or a later arrival for that first wave. Overnight tonight should be fairly quiet, but again, today the concern is there for severe weather. And tomorrow, at this present stage, it may be trending a little bit more quiet, so we may have to revisit that code red for tomorrow. But again, today, as of right now, a very heightened concern for strong to severe storms. Let's check the roadways this morning. Despite the fog, right for now, things are quiet as you head out the door.
Former President Donald Trump back inside a New York courtroom for his hush money trial. Matt Galka joins us now with why a majority of his supporters will be unfazed if he's found guilty.
The former president blasted the gag order assigned to him to try and prevent further attacks on witnesses.
The judge has gagged me, and I'm not allowed to talk about, I guess, his total conflict. The judge is totally conflicted.
Inside the courtroom, former President Trump was threatened with jail time if he continually violated his gag order. He's been fined $10,000 for 10 gag order violations already. Fines, jail time, and even a conviction might not matter to Trump's base. A new ABC News poll has a whopping 80% of Trump supporters saying they'd stick with him if he's convicted of the hush money felonies. 16% would reconsider, and 4% would not support him. Trump also holds big leads over President Biden on voters' top 3 issues, including the economy and inflation, where Trump is up 14, and crime and safety, where Trump is up 8.
We love Trump! We love Trump!
Trump backers were touting the former president's ability to handle the issues over the weekend.
In places where President Trump had success, Joe Biden's having failure. Where President Trump was strong, Joe Biden's been weak.
Part of the unwavering support among Trump supporters could be from lack of video access in the courtroom. Bombshell emotional testimony from former Trump aide Hope Hicks last week, where she alleged the former president knew about hush money payments could only be written about and not seen or heard.
The fact you can't see Trump doesn't mean that he gains or loses, except that there are reports that he falls asleep in the courtroom. So I think if people saw that, that would not be to his advantage.
Biden is dominating on the issue of abortion access, but beyond that, more people surveyed believe Biden is honest and trustworthy, represents their values, and understands their problems. It adds up to a neck-and-neck race in the polls 6 months out from Election Day. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Our time right now is 5:17, still to come.
Just ahead, we meet a nurse who says time is critical when you have a stroke. She knows because she's also been a stroke patient. I'm Liz Bonus. Those who make a difference this National Nurses Week, just ahead.
You're watching Your Day. Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Singer Randy Travis just released a new song despite largely losing his ability to speak or sing. He used AI trained on his past hits to record the song. Where that came from.
I actually saw a news report on this, and it's fascinating
really
what the recording
cool.
studio did. It's impressive. I mean, he's suffered major setbacks in his health over the last couple of years, and for him to be able to still maintain his voice is amazing.
That's wonderful. I mean, this is probably showing the, the good side of AI.
Which there are few.
Yeah.
You won't be seeing a prequel to Friday the 13th anytime soon. The studio A24 is stopping development on a planned series called Crystal Lake. The show was supposed to start filming this summer and premiere on Peacock.
I think we're okay with this.
The
There's
origin
been
story.
so many.
This is what we need.
Friday
more,
the 13th.
More Jason. No, thank you. I'm not big on this. This isn't like my bag. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big,
I mean, it used to be cool, but now I'm just like,
Yeah.
Give us some new ideas, new scary movies.
Good point, Alex.
Exactly. Celebrities poured into the Met Gala in some unique designs. Here's a look at Zendaya's outfit from last night's event. The theme was the Garden of Time. There were some amazing looks last night. I'm slowly starting to catch up on the looks.
She has got old
She's
Hollywood
amazing.
glam.
Yes, the thin eyebrows.
Yes, the dark, shadowy eyes.
Yes,
She looks great.
She looks so good. Love it.
Big fan, big fan.
Me too.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
And we are gearing up for potential of strong to severe storms, large hail, and tornadoes possible this afternoon and evening.
Yeah, meteorologist Nick Maruziak joins us now. And Nick, this is a pretty serious storm heading our way.
Yeah, exactly. It's already produced several tornadoes around Oklahoma and that area. And although we may not have the perfect 10 out of 10 conditions, they're still very favorable for us to see some strong to severe storms. Let's go over to the weather wall and we'll show you what's going on. So first things first, this morning we do have a little bit of fog. If you're traveling down towards Cincinnati, that's about the only problem. We do have the system out to the southwest, just starting to see the fringes of some of the rain, but there you see the big line that has developed out around, let's see, Missouri over in towards Illinois. What we do expect is this round to arrive somewhere between later on this morning, early afternoon. If it does arrive during the afternoon, there is at least some chance of us seeing some stronger storms, but the main chance is going to arrive during the second half of the afternoon through the evening, where we destabilize. This particular model keeping us dry through 11 a.m. and I think that is certainly in the realm of possibilities, maybe even starting to become probability, that we will stay dry throughout the morning hours, but it will be cloudy and it will be humid as temperatures are expected to get into the low 70s by 11. On the roads this morning, we're not seeing any major ordeal when it comes to fog or problems with it, but it may be apparent this morning. Right for now, things are moving smoothly across the board.
This morning, local organizations are responding to a new law cracking down on fentanyl traffickers in the state.
Senator Sherrod Brown's bill was just signed into law, and now people are calling it for it to take effect immediately. Melena Brown joins us live now with how this will impact the Miami Valley. Melena?
Guys, we know President Biden signed the fend-off fentanyl bill into law, but now many lawmakers are calling for it to take effect immediately so we can start tackling the opioid crisis. The bipartisan bill is aimed to crack down on fentanyl traffickers bringing in the drug from China and Mexico. It imposes sanctions on drug cartel members and also the money laundering, making it all profitable. When the law takes effect, it'll be imposed nationally and could have a huge impact here at home. Montgomery County Adamus reports that between January and June of last year, 75% of people who overdosed in the county had fentanyl in their system. And while it's unclear when the law will go into effect, there's plenty of resources available along the way, including a revitalized mobile app where you can easily access services from the palm of your hand. It's called Local Help Now.
We're
Those resources are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And again, like we mentioned earlier, President Biden has signed this legislation into law, so we know eventually it's going to take effect. We're just unsure of that timeline right now, but as soon as we have an update, we'll be sure to bring you that here on air and online.
An Israeli military official says Israel has captured the Gazan side of the Rafah crossing. The White House says the movement and airstrikes aren't necessarily the start of a major offensive. Analysts worry for the millions of civilians taking refuge in the city. It comes hours after Israel urged people to evacuate certain areas. It also follows celebrations over Hamas's agreement to a ceasefire and prisoner exchange. A document obtained by CNN indicates the deal includes a, quote, period of sustainable calm. Protesters in Israel are urging their leaders to accept the offer, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu isn't on board yet.
Protesters took to the streets of Israel last night to demand a deal for the release of hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Police made several arrests as they tried to keep protesters from blocking roads. A smaller group of protesters also gathered outside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence in Jerusalem. Protesters could be heard chanting, "Nothing is more important. Every hostage must return, and we won't give up until they all come back."
Seniors 55 and up can save some extra money this Wednesday at all Kroger stores in our area. Just use your Kroger loyalty card or alternate ID and tell the cashier you're eligible. You'll get 5% off your entire in-store purchase. The goal is to help seniors save on pantry staples, fresh produce, over-the-counter medications, and household essentials. There are some exclusions, including alcohol, tobacco, gas, stamps, lottery, and prescriptions.
For a chance to win, just watch your day and look for the QR code to enter. Get the trivia question right and you could win your mom a $100 prepaid debit card and a chance to be a $5,000 weekly winner. For complete contest rules, go to Dayton247now.com.
Mother's Day's coming up fast.
Sunday.
Order your presents if you haven't already. I need to order mine. I have the idea. I know what I'm getting. I just need to pick something.
Pull the trigger. You got it.
I can get on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. Our time right now is 5:38. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Janae Bones in Washington with a look at why nearly half of Gen Z males are not dating.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning. We are tracking this line of development out to the west. This is likely to arrive during the afternoon and evening hours. In particular, we are tracking the late afternoon through probably the first fringes of dark. Now, we'll really get into the weeds and the details here, but I want to just show you the timing. This first wave likely to arrive sometime that transition between late morning, early afternoon. If anything, it has trended a little bit slower, which may increase at least a little bit of our chance for some stronger storms during the early afternoon. Now, I'll mention that, but I'll also mention what this could do is actually push back the timing of the main line of severe weather more towards the evening and perhaps the first part of overnight as opposed to the afternoon. That period in between is where the atmosphere has to destabilize. And if we don't, well, that second wave may be more, let's say, an isolated thunderstorm with severe potential as opposed to widespread thunderstorms, including supercells.
Nearly half of Gen Z men are not dating. New research shows romantic relationships are rapidly disappearing, part of American teenage experience. Janae Bowens has more on this growing trend.
14-year-old Kyle Kelman isn't checking for anybody right now, but he's not opposed to dating.
Like maybe take them out to play pickleball or tennis, maybe go eat lunch or dinner, watch a movie maybe.
It doesn't seem like other young men his age are on the same page. 44% of Gen Z males have not dated at all during their teenage years. That's according to research from the Survey Center on American Life. Kelman's not surprised.
They're not necessarily looking for a deep connection. They might like the person, but not enough to really want to have a long-lasting relationship.
Gen Z men are a lot different from older men. Only 32% of millennial men, 23% of Gen X men, and just 20% of baby boomer men didn't date during their teenage years. Daniel Cox with the American Enterprise Institute is behind this research.
Both of them are approaching dating with much more trepidation, and I think it's left them much more open to considering alternatives to partnering up in marriage.
Now, he says Gen Zers are focused on risk aversion of rejection and harassment, but he fears, especially for males, not dating is causing more harm than good.
Which was really important to providing you with experiences to know how to set and respect boundaries, to know what you're looking for.
Cox says some things that are stopping young men from dating are finances, parenting, disinterest, video games, and social media.
Hashtags and forums, asking, what's wrong with men. Men are blaming women for being too shallow and superficial.
Despite all of this, Kelman still wants a real romantic relationship.
I do want to get married one day. I want to have children of my own and take care of them.
Cox says parents can help their sons with dating by encouraging them to be empathetic and to see what can be built in partnerships. He says sports, social clubs, and community service projects can help with this too. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
Lawyers for former President Donald Trump are submitting a new reason to potentially request a delay in the classified documents case. They say some of the paperwork that was found in boxes at Mar-a-Lago has shifted out of order since they were seized by the FBI in August of 2022. Trump's legal team says this could be a reason for the entire case to be thrown out. The Office of Special Counsel Jack Smith admitted in a court filing that some documents are not in the same order in boxes now from when they were collected in the Mar-a-Lago search. Prosecutors say the boxes have been reviewed several times, including once at Trump's request.
Our time right now is 5:45. Just ahead, Cassie Arsenal joins us with some tips on how you can avoid frictionless spending.
You're watching Your Day.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeffschman Auto Group.
Do you ever look at your bank account and say, where did all my money go? Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Spending is easier than ever, and that may be the biggest problem with your finances. It's the age of so-called frictionless spending, meaning no cash or even cards for that matter. Cassie Arsenault shows us how this opens the floodgates for overspending and some tips to get you back on track.
Payday is a great day.
You see your check come in, you're like, I'm balling.
But it's not a coincidence that your account may be drained before you know it.
All of a sudden you're like, maybe I'm not that rich. I'm actually super poor.
Nowadays, it happens without us even taking out our debit cards from our wallets.
So I have Apple Pay on my phone.
Uber, Amazon.
Apple Pay is like the life-changing experience. Frictionless spending is basically the world we live in now. We have made it so easy to spend.
We can lose our way when it comes to our finances, whether it's Apple Pay or attaching our credit cards to things like Amazon. It's caused the pain of the purchase to dampen.
Oh, let me stop in at UDF and grab a Coke Zero. And then it's just like, all right, I can do that because I can just whip out the phone, double click, and bingo bango, I'm out the door.
Consumers spent a record $19 trillion in December of 2023. That's a 6% increase from the year before and 29% more than 2020. Despite high inflation and interest rates and repeated commentary from economists that this can't continue. And yet, here we are.
You're not the problem. It's not that you can't control yourself. There shouldn't be a shame in how people are living in their financial life right now. I think it is that we have a lot of systems set up for people to overspend, undersave, and live a more financially stressed out life.
So we asked these 3 different individuals about their spending and if they knew how much was flying out of their wallet per month. They came with their last bank statement in hand, unaware of the question I was about to ask.
How much would you guess that you spend on frictionless transactions a month?
I'm gonna guess a random number of 300.
Okay, that's pretty good. 300 a month, question mark.
Yeah.
I'd say probably $300 to $400.
I don't know. I would guess probably $700 or $800.
Why don't you take a second, go through your little list.
Paleo Valley, DoorDash, Amazon, Spotify.
DoorDash.
Amazon.
Brunch at $50.22.
Amazon.
Uber trip.
Skyline.
Okay, the important stuff.
Amazon. 90% of these are Amazon.
Jules, who declared her frictionless spending is around $300, was way over at $855. A flight and some Amazon purchases and some DoorDash orders added up quickly.
Why I had to get them is up for debate.
Clay overestimated his spending. He guessed $800, but he was only half of that. And Max was right on the money with his frictionless spending habits. Nonetheless, all of them have admitted going overboard at one time or another. And they point to convenience as the culprit.
If I really think about this, do I really need this right now? Or am I just being super impulsive? And then the second I hit purchase and then it goes through, I'm like, man, I don't know about that one.
Our brains are exhausted. We don't critically think about most decisions we make in a day. We take shortcuts. Easy, quick, boom, boom, boom.
Here's how you can control your spending. First, use cash. It's a physical reminder of your spending limit. Next, don't save any of your credit cards to online stores. And if you know you're still going to use things like DoorDash, create limits. Maybe only order it once a week. And as for those things like Amazon one-click or anything else that makes it effortless to spend, get rid of them.
Anything you can do to create more space between the option to buy and the actual purchase is huge.
It is convenient, but why is it convenient? Because it's going to benefit that corporation. I can't be the one getting tricked here.
I'm Cassie Arsenault reporting from Cincinnati.
Our time right now is 5:51. Everyone's had their lives impacted by a teacher. We're appreciating all of them. Coming up.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Well, we do have the code red weather issued due to the fact that we expect storms capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. In terms of today's risk, we're under the level 3. Now, we do expect an update by 8 a.m. So if you're going to be sticking with us this morning, check back in by 8 a.m. SBC will issue another, or perhaps keep the same forecast for our area. So something to keep in mind. We could see maybe not necessarily a threat shift, but in terms of the oranges and reds, that certainly is a possibility. Tornadoes possible today, large hail as well, high winds, as well as perhaps some storms capable of producing tremendous amounts of rain. Right for now, we do have a slate gray across the area. We expect a lot of cloudy skies this morning. Afternoon, early afternoon, there is likely to be a round of rain. At the present point, this will be weakening, still be maybe capable of producing 1 or 2 storms of either strength or perhaps even severe. Now, that is not the line I have the concern about. We do expect there to be a secondary, let's say, push of energy. Before that, and in between the first line and second line, we're going to need to destabilize. Yet again, we're going to be talking about, can we get enough destabilization? I think it's a good possibility, and thus, again, all manners of severe weather possible today. Tomorrow's trending a lot more quiet. We may need to kill the code red for tomorrow. It may be a case where there's some storms across the area, so for right now we'll keep it, but something I'm keeping my eye on. Thursday, just some showers, but again, if you're looking for one day, today is the day where we do need to stay weather aware. On the roads this morning, so far, quiet morning commute. Touch of fog outside, but that is about it.
Miss USA Nolia Voigt is stepping down. She won the crown last September, but says she's resigning so she can focus on her mental health. Voigt released a statement saying she's beginning a new chapter of her life and hopes to inspire others to prioritize their mental health. The 24-year-old also says she wants people to learn to advocate for themselves and not be afraid of the future. The organization will work to determine a successor to Voigt and should make an announcement in the coming days.
It's the perfect day to give an apple to your favorite teacher. It's Teacher Appreciation Day. Former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt championed National Teacher Day back in 1953 as a way to honor teachers. The National Parent-Teacher Association established the entire first full week of May as National Teacher Appreciation Week. That gives you several days to say thank you to all your teachers for dedication to educating us all. And my favorite teacher is my mom. She is retired, and I actually had her in 6th grade in history class. Also, shout out to my brother and sister-in-law who are also, they are professors. So congrats to them.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so bad at names, but there is one teacher in particular that really helped me with math, because that was something I always really struggled with. Mr. Staples at Mason, he was awesome, great. Actually helped me like really understand math. So.
And I've had a fair share of teachers that have put up with me, so shout out to every teacher that had to deal with me in class.
Hey guys, hey, little Nick.
Yeah, and your point being?
Huh?
Your point?
I'm sure you were fun in class.
Some would argue differently.
Yeah. We got a lot more coming up on Your Day at 6.
The Fend-Off Fentanyl Act is law, but why some lawmakers want it to take effect now is coming up.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Joe Burrow is back to throwing this week. A good sign after the Bengals quarterback returns from a season-ending injury.
Yeah, it is good to see Joe Burrow back. I may be a Browns fan, but I want the Bengals at their best when we beat them.
Wow.
What?
Good luck with that. I mean, obviously, he's been injured quite a few times. So hopefully he has a great season, and let's keep our fingers crossed. No
Joe,
injuries.
cool.
Let's have him for the entire season.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe.
Let's hope. And the Dayton Philharmonic is paying homage to Whitney Houston. May 18th, you can head out to listen to all of her songs, sung by Broadway star Rashidra Scott. Wanna love somebody. I don't know the words, but I don't remember the lyrics like any song.
That was amazing. We'll have our own little concert in the commercial break, play some Whitney Houston.
That's a good call. That's a good call. Nick says no, but that means when Nick
You don't get a vote.
Alex, when Nick says no, that means yes.
Exactly. Graders announcing a new flavor. Look at this delicious treat. You can now get orange and cream for a limited time.
Yeah, that looks real good.
This is going to be so yummy on a nice hot summer day.
Oh, creamsicles are the best.
Yeah.
Do you remember those like little push pop sherbet pops? Like the ones with the Flintstones on them from back in the day?
You know what my favorite were? The strawberry shortcake ones.
Oh my gosh,
With,
Alex,
like,
why are you doing this to me?
Sorry.
I love those too.
Those are so good.
So good.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, today we are expecting severe weather, possible winds, hail, tornado, you name it, it is possibly coming this way.
That's why we are, of course, code red, as you can see here behind us. We'll be that way all throughout the morning. Nick has been following this closely. So, Nick, when should we expect these storms to hit?
Well, I would say late afternoon through the early evening is probably going to be the time period where we could start to see some storms. Already we're seeing enough moisture that we're dealing with patchy fog this morning, but the main threat of rain still well out to the west. In fact, just some scattered showers out in Indiana. Let's take the wide view look, and there you see that line. This is going to weaken as it moves east. It's not going to weaken enough that I don't think we're going to see any rain, but I think the rain should hold off perhaps until early afternoon. What that will do is push the severe threat perhaps as late as 7, 8, 9 p.m. as compared to this evening. So something we're watching is for how much do we destabilize. And yet again, we do expect there to be chances for gusty winds, tornadoes, and hail. We'll detail those threats in just a bit. On the roads this morning, though, for right now, we are continuing to remain quiet across the area. Things are moving smoothly as you head out the door.
This morning, local organizations are responding to a new law cracking down on fentanyl traffickers in the state.
Senator Sherrod Brown's bill was just signed into law, and now people are calling for it to take effect immediately. Melina Brown joins us live now with how this will impact the Miami Valley. Melina?
Guys, many hope the Fend Off Fentanyl Act will slow the tide of opioids here in Ohio, but it's been slow to take effect, which could have an impact on millions of lives. The legislation declares the international fentanyl trafficking is a national emergency. It also puts sanctions on the illicit drug trade and the money laundering schemes that make the cartels money. The law also states that money from forfeited or sanctioned property of drug traffickers can go towards helping law enforcement be able to increase their efforts to combat the issue. In a release, Senator Brown states that in 2022, fentanyl was found in 80% of unintentional drug overdoses here in Ohio. And according to the Montgomery County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services, that same issue is right here in our own backyards.
If we take a look at information provided by the Community Overdose Action Team, from January to June of 2023, 3/4 of the individuals in Montgomery County who died of an overdose had fentanyl in their system.
I'm told there's hope with this new legislation that it'll be tougher to get fentanyl in the streets of Montgomery County. And of course, there are always resources available to you. We're going to discuss a new way to find resources coming up here in just 30 minutes.
The Kettering Police Department releasing new information about human legs found in Trotwood 2 weeks ago.
The victim's son is one of the main suspects. Jenny Bork shares some of the key information that we learned.
The victim's identity has now been confirmed. The human legs found in a Trotwood driveway belong to 75-year-old Edgar Kiter Sr. He was identified by running a serial number from a knee replacement he had, according to Kettering Police Chief Chip Protzman. A person of interest has been identified, but murder charges haven't been filed at this time. Police are still waiting for the final report from the coroner's office, but they're continuing to investigate this as a homicide. After searching the victim's Kettering apartment, all of the appliances and carpet were found to be missing, so the landlord pursued criminal charges for theft. That part of the investigation led police to Edgar Kiter Jr. He was arrested on May 1st on felony theft charges, which is when police learned of a storage unit connected to him.
Later that day, detectives discovered a storage unit associated with Kiter Jr. that was recently rented, and a search warrant was executed at that facility. While searching that storage unit, the detectives did discover other body parts of Kiter Sr.
Kiter Jr. is charged with 3 counts of tampering with evidence and 1 count of gross abuse of a corpse. More charges are anticipated, but the investigation is ongoing. Police believe other people are involved. They're currently looking into them as well. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Detective Amy Pedro at 937-296-2460.
The Dayton Police Department's asking for your help to find a missing kid. Now, this is 12-year-old Tevin Bittner. He was last seen Sunday around 6 p.m. in the 1700 block of Montgomery Avenue. He was wearing a black fleece jacket, black jeans, and black Jordan shoes. He usually wears glasses, and his family is very concerned for his safety. If you know where he is, call one of the 2 numbers on your screen, 937-333-COPS or 937-222-STOP.
Vandalia Butler City Schools and the City of Vandalia now reaching a settlement on a tax revenue sharing dispute. The school district sued the city last month, claiming for 3 decades it failed to share tax revenue, a general requirement by the state of Ohio. Now the city will pay the school district $4.35 million over 2 years. The district has already received $1.35 million. The rest will come in installments. The agreement also establishes a new threshold for when tax sharing will begin in the future. In a joint statement, the city and school district say the agreement, quote, represents a commitment to the ongoing partnership and shared goal of supporting both education and community development.
Our time right now is 6:07. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And you're right on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Atrell Nashar with why summer gas prices might be higher than expected. Coming up.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We do expect a window for strong to severe storms later on today. In particular, we do think that there is the threat for large hail and isolated tornadoes. Perhaps even some strong tornadoes are going to become possible. In terms of timing, well, I think this graphic may show us kind of the idea of today. So we are going to have temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 70s. Then from there, there's going to be a line of rain. That may cool us off briefly. From that point on, it's a question of how much and how quickly do we destabilize. I think by the time we get towards 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m., that is the window where we do expect the best chance of strong to severe storms. Now, that is assuming this next line arrives somewhere around 1, 2, 3 p.m. If it does arrive a little bit sooner, that may move up just ever so slightly that first or the bigger threat of severe weather. But still, today a day where even if we don't necessarily see a lot of severe weather during the early afternoon, there is a large window later on today. On the roads this morning, so far it's so quiet as you head out the door. Traffic looking pretty okay as, again, you head out.
As we head into the summer driving season, you're probably paying close attention to gas prices. According to AAA, the national average is $3.64. Here in the Buckeye State, it's $3.34. Supply cuts could bump up the price at the pump. National correspondent Audra Elnashar has a closer look.
It's no secret Americans have been struggling with high inflation for the past 2 years or so. And drivers hope as they hit the road this summer, there won't be any surprises when they pull up to the gas station.
I got a Mustang and I go to fill it up, it's like 75, 80 bucks.
It used to cost me $20 to fill, get my truck to half a tank. Now it's like almost 80 now.
It's typical to see a slight rise in prices this time of year as refineries undergo seasonal maintenance and stations switch to a required summer blend gasoline. But there's always the potential for unexpected shocks to global oil supply that can have ripple effects at your local station.
What a diversity of challenges.
When Saudi Arabia and other OPEC Plus countries meet on June 1st, they're expected to extend the production cuts they implemented earlier this year. Those cuts haven't yet delivered the price shocks experts were dreading, thanks in part to increased production in the Western Hemisphere. Last year, U.S. oil production hit an all-time high, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Drivers are watching prices, and so are the presidential campaigns, as poll after poll shows voters are sour on the overall economy. Republicans blaming President Biden for high prices at the pump and beyond, consistently attacking his clean energy policies.
We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring down your energy costs.
While Democrats court voters with ambitious plans for electric vehicle production and tout how much gas prices have come down from their peak of $5 per gallon in July 2022.
I led the country through the COVID crisis. Today, we have the strongest economy in the world.
Back before the 2022 midterms, when Americans were dealing with those especially high gas prices, Republicans were expected to get a so-called red wave that never came to fruition. Abortion rights had a major role in that. Flash forward to today, that's still a top issue. But if you look at the polls, the economy ranks as voters' #1 concern. In Washington, I'm Audra Elnashar.
Our time right now is 6:14. A Cincinnati restaurant is bringing its first location to the Dayton area. Coming up, when Dayton will get its first taste of Belgium.
You're watching Your Day. 2 varieties of Planters nuts are now facing a recall. The FDA says Hormel Foods has voluntarily recalled Planters peanuts and mixed nuts for possible contamination with the bacteria that causes listeria. Now, the 2 recalled products, 4 1-ounce packages of honey roasted peanuts and some cans of lightly salted mixed nuts, were sold in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and South Carolina. The peanuts have a best if used by date of April 11th, 2025, and the mixed nuts have a best if used by date of April 5th, 2026. As of Friday, there were no reported illnesses.
An experimental gene therapy restored some vision in a small group of patients with a form of inherited blindness. That's according to trial results published yesterday in the New England Journal of Medicine. 14 patients had surgery involving gene editing therapy injections under the retina of one of their eyes. Researchers said most of the trial participants had meaningful improvement in their vision 3 months later. There were no serious side effects. The researchers said this shows gene editing can help treat inherited retinal disorders, but the therapy remains experimental and should be tested on a larger group of people.
A spoonful of olive oil per day may be helpful for your health. That's according to a new study. Consuming olive oil daily appears to lower a person's chances of dying from dementia. The peer-reviewed research is based on 92,000 adults over a 28-year period who had at least 7 grams of olive oil every day. Health experts say olive oil has proven to be beneficial for the brain, bones, and heart. Researchers say olive oil is very versatile and can be used as a salad dressing, in pesto, or a bread dip.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Well, right now we are looking at gray skies across the area. It is going to take a while for us to clear out, but I do expect there to be a window where we could do that later on this morning. This particular model, and actually the others, have pushed back the timing of the first wave. This one's a little bit stronger than the others, but the main message is afternoon and early afternoon, this first wave would arrive. From this point until perhaps the evening, maybe even first part of dark, there may be not a whole lot of activity, or if there is, it'll be weaker. That is going to be something we're going to track, because as this next, I'm not even going to call it a wave, really it's just a push of energy does arrive, this is going to cause probably at the bare minimum at least a couple of scattered storms, if not a full out outburst of potentially strong to severe storms. Again, the evening time frame seems to be the most likely for us to see severe weather based on that first wave arriving a little bit later on. Of course, we'll continue to track it. If it does arrive later on this morning, that would actually extend the period of strong to severe storms. We have also trended drier for tomorrow, which is good news. I think at this point, the best chance of severe weather may miss our area, so we may have to revisit tomorrow's code red, but today definitely in play. In terms of severe weather, the biggest risk is going to be tornadoes, winds. Tornadoes and large hail can't be ruled out. We'll kind of detail that coming up here in just a little bit. Note also showers are possible all the way through Saturday. On the roads this morning, just looking over our cams, there's not a lot of traffic outside, but there is just a touch of fog. So if you are going to be out and about, be prepared. Visibility maybe just ever so slightly reduced.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a Cincinnati-based restaurant is planning its next location in the Dayton area. Taste of Belgium is known for its authentic waffles and other Belgian-inspired cuisine. And its newest location will be at Austin Landing next to Park Grill and Bar. The official opening date has yet to be announced. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the News tab, and select Dayton Business Journal.
Our time right now, 6:21, still to come.
I'm Janae Bones in Washington with a look at why nearly half of Gen Z males are not dating.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We're continuing to follow the storm making its way into the Miami Valley, and this is a look at that same storm hitting Oklahoma yesterday.
Yeah, and this is actually video of a tornado. Look, when we tell you stay safe during a tornado, I think the last thing we really want people doing is trying to take video in the midst of a tornado. Obviously, it's great video to see not only the storm hitting, but also some of the destruction, Alex. But this is definitely very scary, and this is out of I believe this is Bartlesville, Oklahoma area, where people were unfortunately in the path of a tornado.
I was going to say, you can see they're inside, but you can see that it's affecting the building just from different parts of the area. So obviously, as this makes its way to the Miami Valley, we want to make sure that everyone is keeping it in mind so that if they have to get into their safe space, they can.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's great message for today. We are under enhanced risk. By comparison, parts of Oklahoma yesterday were under high risk. We still have a good risk for tornadoes. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has put us under a hatched. Hatched does mean that 10% greater probability EF2 or EF5 within 25 miles. Winds, certainly a possibility, as well as hail. Hail also worth pointing out that we are under the hatch, which means we could see 2-inch or larger. Now, just a reminder, this updates here at, let's see, we're at 10Z. This will update at 13Z. So next 3 hours. So once that updates, we'll let you know about any changes.
And for those people who are, at work or getting ready to leave for work, I guess I should say, what time was this all be hitting? More
towards very late afternoon through the evening hours. So again, if you're going to be out and about evening hours, probably going to impact your evening commute. As for the morning commute itself, here's what we're looking at for right now. It has been relatively quiet thus far. The fog has mostly mixed out of the area. There's still probably going to be a hazy spot or two. Really doesn't seem to be affecting traffic, but again, later on today, storms will likely impact the area.
Nearly half of Gen Z men are not dating. New research shows romantic relationships are rapidly disappearing part of American teenage experience. Janae Bowens has more on the growing trend.
14-year-old Kyle Kelman isn't checking for anybody right now, but he's not opposed to dating.
Maybe take them out to play pickleball or tennis, maybe go eat lunch or dinner, watch a movie maybe.
It doesn't seem like other young men his age are on the same page. 44% of Gen Z males have not dated at all during their teenage years. That's according to research from the Survey Center on American Life. Kelman's not surprised.
They're not necessarily looking for a deep connection. They might like the person, but not enough to really want to have a long-lasting relationship.
Gen Z men are a lot different from older men. Only 32% of millennial men, 23% of Gen X men, and just 20% of baby boomer men didn't date during their teenage years. Daniel Cox with the American Enterprise Institute is behind this research.
Both of them are approaching dating with much more trepidation, and I think it's left them much more open to considering alternatives to partnering up in marriage.
Now, he says Gen Zers are focused on risk aversion of rejection and harassment, but he fears, especially for males, not dating is causing more harm than good.
Which was really important to providing you with experiences to know how to set and respect boundaries, to know what you're looking for.
Cox says some things that are stopping young men from dating are finances, parenting, disinterest, video games, and social media.
Hashtags and forums, asking, what's wrong with men. Men are blaming women for being too shallow and superficial.
Despite all of this, Kelman still wants a real romantic relationship.
I do want to get married one day. I want to have children of my own and take care of them.
Cox says parents can help their sons with dating by encouraging them to be empathetic and to see what can be built in partnerships. He says sports, social clubs, and community service projects can help with this too. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
Our time right now is 6:29, still to come.
The Fend Off Fentanyl Act is now law, but when it could take effect is coming up.
But first, here's Gina Gannon with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
As a busy mom, I'm always looking for things to do for me. So I love this self-care at-home product that will really reinvigorate your skin. This is brought to you by Dr. Lancer. I was so excited when I found this product. This is going to be the Pro Polish Microdermabrasion device that he uses at his Beverly Hills office for all of his celebrity clients. I get to do that at home. This is going to be under $100 today. 200 treatments you'll get, which is awesome. If I could do this 200 times, I'm all for it, especially at home. Let me tell you how it works. So you're going to find here this diamond tip. This is a diamond head. You also have this small size, which is great for your face, those hard to reach places. It has that swivel, 180-degree swivel head so that you can get into those really problematic areas. But then if you wanted to exfoliate your body, maybe you self-tan, this is going to be perfect. It also comes with 200 filters. So every time you're done, you can change it out. It's so easy to use. You're going to feel this vacuum suction. Well, that's exfoliating and then getting rid and vacuuming away all those dead skin cells. I cannot wait for you to try this. It comes in multiple colors, but it's so easy to use. You're just going to use this in an upward motion. You're going to feel it working and know that you're going to have the best self-care experience at home with this device. Check it out today. Go to asadeals.com and it's 51% off.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Singer Randy Travis just released a new song. Despite largely losing his ability to speak or sing, he used AI trained on his past hits to record the song Where That Came From.
You know, it's interesting because I've seen like other artist songs generated by AI.
Yeah.
Like they took like the Beach Boys and turned into, you know, From the Windows to the Walls, you know, and like other like modern hits. And
yeah.
It's amazing how this technology is going to transform music.
So crazy. You were even playing around with it recently, and you like played a little something from me. It was weird.
Yeah,
It's
it is
weird.
Yeah, no thank you. And you won't be seeing a prequel to Friday the 13th anytime soon. The Studio A24 is stopping development on a planned series called Crystal Lake. The show was supposed to start filming this summer and premiere on Peacock. Is there any like prequel to like a famous movie or anything that you'd like to see?
Oh.
Like, I feel like we've already gotten like a good amount.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scary movie that would be. You know what? One scary movie that still to this day scares me so much is Babadook. Have you ever seen that one?
I'm good. I've seen that. Yeah, you like
So
your
creepy.
weird movies. I think I'm set.
Yeah, one is enough for me.
We don't need
It's
prequels
too
to
scary.
evil. I think we're okay.
Celebrities poured into the Met Gala in some unique designs. Here's a look at Zendaya's outfit from last night's event, looking like a queen. The theme was the Garden of Time.
There's some weird ones though too. Like I saw one outfit that was literally an umbrella with like a curtain all the way around it. I'm like, you can't even see.
I think like Doja Cat showed up in a towel with a towel around her head.
People, celebrities, let me tell you.
Yeah.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, and as you just heard, we are waking up to a code red weather alert as severe weather threatens the Miami Valley.
Meteorologist Nick Maruziak joins us now. Nick, we are looking at the threat of possible tornadoes, damaging wind, hail. When is all this supposed to hit us?
So there's going to be a wave that's going to arrive earlier this afternoon. That could still provide a couple strong or even severe storms, but it's really the evening that seems to be the most likely culprit. Let's go over to the weather wall, show you what's going on. So for right now, fairly quiet and calm outside. Do have a couple of showers, I think it's fair to say, out to the west, perhaps even some thunderstorms. That's part of a line that has developed out to the west. Now, that line that you see marching its way through Illinois will gradually weaken. And because of that, there's going to be a window where, let's say, this afternoon, it may be a case of heavy rain, perhaps even some gusty winds. But again, the main threat for severe weather well after towards the evening hours. And as we've been mentioning, there is the threat of not only winds, but also hail and tornadoes, including perhaps EF2 or stronger tornadoes, something we're keeping our eyes on. On the roads this morning, there is some fog over by Austin Boulevard. It doesn't look particularly that heavy at 70 and 75, but over at Wilmington Pike. So this may be more of the south part of our area that is dealing with it. Either way, it is not a particularly awful warning.
This morning, local organizations are responding to a new law cracking down on fentanyl traffickers in the state.
Senator Sherrod Brown's bill was just signed into law, and now people are calling on it for it to take effect immediately. Melena Brown joins us live with how this will impact the Miami Valley. Melena?
Guys, now that President Biden has signed the fentanyl bill into law, many lawmakers are wanting it to take effect immediately so that they can start to tackle the opioid crisis in the country. Now, we do know that this is a bipartisan bill aimed to crack down on fentanyl traffickers bringing in the drug from China and Mexico. It imposes sanctions on drug cartel members and also the money laundering that makes it all profitable. When the law takes effect, it will be imposed nationally, and it could have a huge effect here at home. Montgomery County Adamus reports between January and June of last year, 75% of people who overdosed in the county had fentanyl in their system. And while it's unclear when the law will go into effect, there's plenty of resources available along the way, including a revitalized mobile app where you can easily access services from the palm of your hand. It's called Local Help Now.
What we're asking people to do is pin the app to their mobile device now and get acquainted with the resources and supportive services that we have available here in Montgomery County.
Those resources are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And again, it is law, but it does take time to take effect. And once we have an update on when it goes into effect, we'll be sure to bring you that here on air and online.
An Israeli military official says Israel has captured the Gazan side of the Rafah crossing. The White House says the movement and airstrikes aren't necessarily the start of a major offensive. Analysts worry for the millions of civilians taking refuge in the city. It comes hours after Israel urged people to evacuate certain areas. It also follows celebrations over Hamas's agreement to a ceasefire and prisoner exchange. A document obtained by CNN indicates the deal includes a, quote, period of sustainable calm. Protesters in Israel are urging their leaders to accept the offer, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu isn't on board yet.
Play Mother's Day Mania for a chance to win. Just watch your day and look for the QR code to enter. Get the trivia question right, and you could win your mom a $100 prepaid debit card and a chance to be a $5,000 weekly winner. For complete contest rules, go to Dayton247now.com.
Our time right now is 6:40. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
This photo of a rain shaft was taken during the weekend in Missouri. Rain shafts are centralized columns of precipitation that stretch from the cloud to the ground. Shafts that appear fuzzier are composed of smaller rain droplets, while shafts that appear more defined are caused by large rain droplets rapidly falling toward the ground.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
All right, so the Storm Prediction Center has put us under level 3, and it is worth pointing out that they do expect to update here. I believe it is going to be happening before the 9 a.m. hour. So once that update happens, then we'll be able to give it to you. Sometimes they change things, move things around, or perhaps offer in just a little bit more of an idea. And again, that should happen by 9 a.m. In terms of today, I think the biggest threat is still going to be high winds. And we're talking about this 60 mile per hour damaging wind gust. But based on the atmosphere having a lot of shear, meaning the upper atmosphere going this way, the lower atmosphere going this way, what you can get is tornadoes and also large hail. The upper atmosphere rather cold. So again, all manners of severe weather are possible. Now, while flooding could be a concern, I think at the present point, based on the speed of these storms, it may be just temporary, meaning water on the roads, as compared to any type of really treacherous problems with flooding.
Seniors 55 and up can save some extra money this Wednesday at all Kroger stores in our area. Just use your Kroger loyalty card or alternate ID and tell the cashier you're eligible. You'll get 5% off your entire in-store purchase. The goal is to help seniors save on pantry staples, fresh produce, over-the-counter medications, and household essentials. There are some exclusions, including alcohol, tobacco, gas, stamps, lottery, and prescriptions.
Our time right now is 6:45. Taking a live look over Dayton at this hour. It's calm out right now, but we are expecting some storms later today. Coming up, Nick has a look at your forecast.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning. Here's the view right now over Dayton as the gray skies and the fog continues across the southern part of our area. Fog's not been particularly that thick, but that goes for about it in terms of this morning. We do expect there to be the chance of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center, of course, has us right now under a level 3. That for basically the entire Miami Valley and into parts of the northwestern part of our state. Now, that being said, we do expect there to be the threat of not only damaging winds, large hail, but also tornadoes are possible. The timing seems to be after this first wave. So this first wave may not be quite as strong. I still expect there to be a window where we could deal with a couple of stronger storms. But I think that the evening hours, particularly 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m., those are going to be the time period of concern. That's where we'll have peak heating. That's where we have all the instability building in theory. And I only say in theory because, well, sometimes things don't develop perfectly. But again, that time period seems likely for us to see strong to severe storms. Wednesday temperatures are in the low 80s as well. We'll be in the 70s as we get into the 70s, on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, it should be mid 60s with showers possible across the area. Traffic-wise, it is so far so quiet. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns, but again, a little bit of fog outside. You know, something we're big on here, and I'll bring it up because I'm doing the school visit on this today, is know your safe spot. This time period where we always talk about make a plan. That's talking with your kids. Hey, if there's severe weather, I'm not home, you go to this room, you do this. If, let's say, we lose power, you go to here, or we go to here. Now, obviously, you can change plans as needed, depending on the things, but just have a baseline so the kids know what to do. That's always a great idea.
Yeah, if you don't have a basement, there are other options in your house.
Interior room away from windows.
Talk it over with your family. Today is the day to do it. Our time right now is 6:52. You're watching Your Day.
This morning, local organizations are responding to a new law cracking down on fentanyl traffickers in the state.
Senator Sherrod Brown's bill was just signed into law, and now people are calling for it to take effect immediately. Melina Brown joins us live with how it's impacting the Miami Valley.
Many hope the new fend-off fentanyl bill will slow the tide of the opioid here in Ohio, but it's been slow to take effect, which could have an impact on millions of Americans. The legislation declares the international fentanyl trafficking is a national emergency. It also puts sanctions on the illicit drug trade and the money laundering schemes that make the cartels money. The law also states that money from forfeited or sanctioned property of drug traffickers can go towards helping law enforcement be able to increase their efforts to combat the issue. In a release, Senator Brown states that in 2022, fentanyl was found in 80% of unintentional drug overdoses here in Ohio. And according to the Montgomery County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services, that same issue is right here in our own backyards.
If we take a look at information provided by the Community Overdose Action Team, from January to June of 2023, 3/4 of the individuals in Montgomery County who died of an overdose had fentanyl in their system.
I'm told there's hope with this new legislation that it'll be tougher getting fentanyl off the streets. And of course, there are always resources available in the area. Coming up here at 7:30, we are going to talk about a new resource that's available to you.
The Kettering Police Department releasing new information about human legs found in Trotwood 2 weeks ago.
The victim's son is one of the main suspects. Jenny Bork shares some key information that we learned.
The victim's identity has now been confirmed. The human legs found in a Trotwood driveway belong to 75-year-old Edgar Kiter Sr. He was identified by running a serial number from a knee replacement he had, according to Kettering Police Chief Chip Protzman. A person of interest has been identified, but murder charges haven't been filed at this time. Police are still waiting for the final report from the coroner's office, but they're continuing to investigate this as a homicide. After searching the victim's Kettering apartment, all of the appliances and carpet were found to be missing, so the landlord pursued criminal charges for theft. That part of the investigation led police to Edgar Kiter Jr. He was arrested on May 1st on felony theft charges, which is when police learned of a storage unit connected to him.
Later that day, detectives discovered a storage unit associated with Kiter Jr. that was recently rented, and a search warrant was executed at that facility. While searching that storage unit, the detectives did discover other body parts of Kiter Sr.
Kiter Jr. is charged with 3 counts of tampering with evidence and 1 count of gross abuse of a corpse. More charges are anticipated, but the investigation is ongoing. Police believe other people are involved. They're currently looking into them as well. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Detective Amy Pedro at 937-296-2460.
The Dayton Police Department's asking for your help finding this missing kid right here. Now, this is 12-year-old Tevin Bittner. He was last seen Sunday around 6 p.m. in the 1700 block of Gummer Avenue. He was wearing a black fleece jacket, black jeans, and black Jordan shoes. Now, he usually wears glasses, and his family is very concerned for his safety. If you know where he's at, call one of the 2 numbers on your screen. That's